Hello, everyone. Welcome to Choices Finding Your Joy. Paula Vail here, your host, founder of Wellness Inspired. I'm just thrilled to just share another amazing guest. You are going to love our guest today. I have with us Amy Mahjoory. She is a real estate investor, an educator, HGTV personality, best-selling author, coach, and speaker. I have her book right here. We'll be talking about it. It's absolutely fantastic. I have notes all through the book. That's what I do when I'm just loving a book. I make little notes. Oh, I love this. I got to remember this. I love this. But anyway, welcome, Amy. I'm honored to have you on the show.
Thank you. The pleasure and honor is all mine. I really appreciate your time today, and I'm excited to chat with you and your audience.
Oh, thank you. Oh, we're so excited. Well, share a bit of your background with us to begin with, would you please?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for asking. You know, my background's very traditional. Just like most people, I was out there working a corporate job for the first 14 years of my career. I worked in Austin, Texas for Dell Computers. I come from a Middle Eastern background, so we're very traditional in the sense of, you know, you go to school, you go get a college degree, and then you get a stable, secure job for the rest of your life until you retire. And it was about in 2012 that I had just gotten burnt out. I was over corporate America. I wasn't giving it 100% anymore. And I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And it was at that time that I come to a fork in the road and I decided to break free from corporate America. I never had an entrepreneurial mindset. I never was a manager of people. And I decided to pursue entrepreneurship in July of 2012. And the first business I started was my real estate business in Chicago. So I started renovating distressed properties, and I still do it today.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And in your book, you talk about networking. You talk a lot about creating a team. So let's begin with, what would you say is the secret to networking? What did you discover?
That's a great question. So when I started my real estate business, that was an industry I knew nothing about. So the first thing that I needed to do was build my power team. I genuinely believe that it's my team that has led me to where I am today. It's not because of me. When people, commend me on my success, the limelight, it goes to my team. So I was out there hustling for the first 18 months. I probably put in 70 to 80 hours a week, working both in my real estate business and my corporate job, just trying to build my power team. And as I got out there and started to network, I was just surprised at how many people didn't understand what networking really means. When you think back to traditional means of networking, it's very one-sided. It's more about how many business cards can I hand out, or how many can I collect, how many events can I go to, is there an opportunity for me to build a list in the hopes of potentially, selling a product or service. It was just very one-sided, whereas modern day networking, as I like to refer to it, is more about what value do you bring to the table? What are you willing to give back? How can you best serve others in order to achieve, whether it's personal goals or professional goals, simply by leveraging from the resources around you. So when I got out there and started to network, it naturally just comes as a strength to me. I realized that there was a demand for networking, coaching, and speaking. And that's the Cliff Notes version of what's brought me to where I am today as a networking keynote speaker and coach.
What would you say were some of the key points in creating your team? What did you look for? Who did you want on your team? How did you make those decisions?
Right. That was my number one priority. Before I ever thought about anything else, I wanted to make sure I had a strong foundation in my team. And I looked for the A+ players. I often quote Jim Collins from Good to Great in his book, he talks about focus on getting the right players, the A+ players on the bus, and then worry about shuffling them around and putting them into the right seat. So my own personal strategic decision was to get out there and hire people to work with who had a similar mindset. That meant other entrepreneurs, other business owners. In my real estate business, for example, you know, if I was going to work with a realtor or an architect or a designer, I wanted them to own their own company. So my attorney owns his own firm, you know, same with my architect and my designer. And I just found that surrounding yourself with like-minded people is going to have a snowball effect on you personally and professionally. So I was very, very selective with who I chose to surround myself with.
Yes, yes. And when we surround ourselves with like-minded people, we actually bring more of those type of people into our lives, don't we?
Absolutely. And this was very hard for me because, look, I've had a lot of tough times, a ton of failures or lessons learned, as I would like to say. And I believe that it's made me who I am today. If we're not making mistakes, we're not growing, we're not learning. And, you know, surrounding yourself with like-minded people has caused me to lose a handful of some of my best friends. And it was very hard for me. One was like a sister to me. I had been, you know, inseparable with her for 13 years. And when our friendship fell, you know, had a falling out, I tried to force it to work, but I quickly realized in a very humbling way, if you're not adding value to me personally or professionally, I don't have time. Life is too short. I want to spend my time with people who bring me up, who challenge me, not those who are filled with drama. And that was very hard for me. So taking that concept of surrounding yourself with like-minded people in a positive way, it's led me to live the life that I'm living today. And it's led me to my husband and my family and living one block away from the ocean here in San Diego and being able to travel internationally 4 times a year. And, you know, I'm proud of that. I have a heart. It's just, like, life is short and you got to be selective with who you spend your time with.
Yes. And you know a lot about marketing strategies. So what would you say to the audience who is trying to market their business or strategize where they're going? Do you have any helpful tips for them?
I do. I keep talking about my real estate business. That was just the first business I started. You know, whether it's real estate or designing jewelry or even achieving personal goals, I invested a lot in coaching and mentorship, working with some of the best people in the industry on their cutting edge technology. So that's number one. If your weakness is marketing, work with a marketing coach. In my book, my networking book, I talk about there are so many ways that you could market cost effectively. I have a lot of my students who have a $0 a month marketing budget. Social media is huge, but there's a strategy. You want to be tactful when you post on social media. I have a lot of students who say, well, I'm not into social media. That's not for me. I don't want people knowing what I'm doing. Why not? You have a huge online audience. As long as you're strategic about it, why wouldn't you want your Facebook friends, for example, or family to know what you're doing? There's so much you can do in marketing, but I didn't realize the opportunities that were out there until I started working with my coaches and my own mentors.
Yes, yes. And something you say in your book, networking unlocks opportunities money can't buy. I loved that.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Thanks. You know, there's a very common quote out there that says your network determines your net worth. And yeah, sure, I believe in that. I've always believed in that. It's everywhere that's out there. Oh, you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Yes, I agree. But if you take that phrase and you reverse it, what I talk about in my book is it's your net worth that determines your network. what value do you bring to the table? Why would a multimillionaire want to hang out with you? Right? So how can you help them? How can you inspire them? How can you help them achieve their goals? So while I do believe that it's your network that determines your net worth, I often talk about how it's the opposite. Always focus on giving back, and the law of reciprocity will naturally come back to you.
Yes, yes. That, because yes, the more we give, really the more we gain, isn't it?
Yeah, and when we talk about leveraging from the resources around you, I always say use the power of one connection to open doors. When you and I first met, it was instant bond, chemistry, click. It's crazy that this is the first time I'm seeing you. And, I've ever since then, I've been like, okay, how can I help Paula? What is she doing? Are there clients I can send her way? Just because somebody has done that for me before. And not only is it just my way of giving back, people say that all the time as a business owner, how are you going to give back? What are you going to do? It's more than that. I genuinely want to help others because seeing them grow and develop is what it sounds cheesy, but that's what excites me. And then that does unlock opportunities that money can't buy. Through that process, I've met other business partners. I've opened up other entities. I've gone on vacations, created lifelong friendships. So that's more than just monetary to me.
Yes, yes, it's priceless. I know myself in my 27 years of restaurant business, in a way, I was networking with my customers. I adored my customers and I made connections, I made friends and opened up so many things into my life that, proceeded later. The connections I made, it was tremendous. I mean, we're networking every day.
You're so right. My best friends shifted. So when I started pursuing my journey in entrepreneurship, I was living in downtown Chicago. And two of my best girlfriends, it was the three of us, we were inseparable. We all lived downtown. We did everything together. And I was so excited about what entrepreneurship meant and the lifestyle that it could lead that I was trying to push it onto them. And they didn't want to hear it. We grew apart. I feel like it's my fault and I own it and I take accountability for it. But what's so crazy is that my entire circle started to shift in that first year. And while I was living in Chicago, my two new best girlfriends lived in opposite ends of the country. I was in Chicago, the other was in Florida, the other one was in California. But I saw them all the time. We go to seminars together, conferences, girls' trips. So it's just establishing a more meaningful connection will change your life 180 degrees if you want it to. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yes. Amy, what was it in your life that triggered you to say, I want to write a book?
So this is going to sound terrible, but I'm very raw, real, direct. So I'm going to just share my story. It was in 2016. I was having a very tough time in my real estate business. I made some greedy, poor financial decisions. So I was trying to re-strategize. And I'm a firm believer in no negative self-talk. But I woke up one day in 2016 thinking to myself, like, Amy, what are you doing? Like, I can't even say it, but I'm going to say it. I was like, you're such a loser. Like, you're not doing anything. But here's where surrounding myself with like-minded people, I took it to the extreme. A lot of my friends and business partners are very strong type A personality individuals, and they're all doing things at a very high level. So when I woke up that day and I looked around at my circle, everyone was writing a book, and not just their first book. They were on their third book, their fifth book. They've started their own seminars, multiple businesses. So I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. But I was running a $11 million real estate business in downtown Chicago. I was coaching and speaking all over the country. So I actually wrote the book for all of the wrong reasons. I'm very competitive. And I was like, I got to write a book. All my friends are writing books. Like, what am I doing? And through my coaching, a lot of my students had told me, and shared stories about how valuable my networking tips were. So I was like, whatever, like that's so easy for me. I'll just write a book on networking. And I was so scared to publish it. I didn't publish it for 2 years because I was so worried about getting judged and critiqued. And oh my God, I'm not an author. Like English is not my strength. What are people going to think about me? I finally forced myself to publish it before my 40th birthday, so last August. And the feedback has been amazing. The support has been amazing. And I can't believe it. I've actually started my second book now for the right reasons. I want to do it. I don't care about what other people are doing. And it's basically going to be kind of like a version 2 of what's out there now, just refined a little bit.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Do you have the title?
I don't know. So my first book was self-published, and I'm actually trying to get picked up by a publishing company. I feel like in a very humbling way, I have such great content, and here's me being real and raw and direct. I'm just terrible at marketing. So I want to try and see if I can find someone to help me with that. So I don't know the title yet.
Yes, yes. We will. We'll have to chat after the show. I know an amazing publisher.
That would be fantastic.
I love it.
The power of connection.
I know. I know. Gosh. Well, let's take a moment now for you to tell everyone where they can get a copy of this first book of yours.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It is on Amazon. The Kindle version is available for $10 or paperback for $18. And then often when I speak at events, I just take copies of my book and I'll sell it at cost, which I think is like $8. But they can buy it online at Amazon. Just do a search for my last name, Mahjoory, if you can remember that. And then, or you can go to my website, which is amymahjoory.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Because it is a fantastic book. And I am really excited to hear you're going to do a second one.
Thank you.
So, we're both entrepreneur girls. What would you say has been your biggest challenge being an entrepreneur? I know we have challenges in that, when we strive for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pausing because I don't want to get emotional. I get that question often. And man, I had some really tough times. And it goes back to 2016. And a lot of it was financial. Again, I just got greedy. I don't want to say I was lucky because I put in a lot of hard work when I started my first business. And so I had a lot of immediate success. I've never been arrogant. I've never been egotistical. I think I was overly confident. And one of my most challenging times is when I got greedy in 2016 and I bought more than I could handle in my real estate business. And I remember living in denial. I talk about, living above the line and living below the line of responsibility. And back in 2016, there was a period where I chose to live below the line. And what I mean by that is I started to blame my failures on my team. And I didn't sleep at all in 2016. I was going to the doctor at least once a month. I was extremely stressed. I was a terrible girlfriend to my now husband. And I genuinely believe, though, that it's tough times that define us, and perseverance will prevail. I never believed in quitting or giving up. As a business owner and entrepreneur, in my opinion, should be number one. You just focus on how can I fix this? What can I do to make it better? Every day for 365 days, I was just problem solving, and I figured it out. I got out of my rut. Everything ended up being great. I'm much stronger now. It's funny because, when I coach some of my students in all industries, a lot of the times, and in a very endearing way, I will laugh about their tough times. But I tell them, I'm like, oh my God, you are so cute. Let me tell you what happened. And here's how you can problem solve, troubleshoot, get over it. It's going to make you so much stronger. So just have the perseverance prevails attitude, focus on just figuring it out, and just don't give up. You guys can figure it out. Talk to your coaches, talk to your mentors, talk to your family. I would come home many days and just cry to my husband. He would never even ask me, what are you doing? What's wrong? Why are you crying? He would just hold me. I would cry and move on to the next problem. So,
isn't it so true, Amy, that when we go through challenges, really we can learn from that, and that can make us so much stronger. It can give us new perspectives, and that can transform into positive things and success as we go forward. And what's wonderful is we can help others. And that's what you're doing with your book. And
thank you. Yeah, a lot of my book and my speeches are very motivating and inspiring, because I always tell everyone that I connect with, like, I'm a normal person. Like, the only reason I'm up here teaching and speaking is because I'm a product of a system. Like, this is exactly what I did. Here are the 5 networking systems and tools and strategies that I use both in my personal life and in multiple businesses that I've set up, which is nothing fancy. It's just making a mindset shift, getting creative, thinking outside the box, knowing how to leverage from the resources around you, knowing how to walk in. Things as basic as going into the CVS and getting 20% off. It's like day-to-day stuff, or learning how to raise $16 million, learning how to network your way into HGTV. It's like all ends of the spectrum. It's like, even though I teach networking, it's motivation, it's inspiration. And it's been such a humbling experience just watching the success of so many of my students unfold. It's just crazy what you can do if you just set your mind to it.
Yes. Oh, and isn't that just a beautiful gift to see what your mentoring and coaching is doing for others? Oh my gosh, Amy.
I mean, we all become friends. It's, take vacations together. It's fun. To me, what I do isn't work. Like, I have, as you know, my daughter was born 5 weeks ago. And I still coach over the phone. I just spoke at a conference 2 weeks ago, and people keep saying, I can't believe you're back to work. And I was like, oh, I don't even think that this is work for me. It's like, it's just life, and I love it.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Well, we've got about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
Your messages are so beautiful, Amy. What last few messages do you want to share with everyone? What would you like them to think about today after we finish this show?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I genuinely believe in, collaboration, not competition. So for business owners out there, don't worry about, oh, I'm not going to share my secrets with you because you're a competitor. There's no competition. There's enough for everyone to be successful out there, regardless of whatever it is you're doing. If you have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, and you start to get creative, collaborate together, don't believe in competition. In a business setting or personally, you got personal goals, you want to achieve some financial goals, you want to travel, you've got health and fitness goals, work together, get an accountability group. That's a huge piece of advice. I have multiple accountability groups for me personally and professionally. Some of them we speak once a week, others is once a month, but it's a great way to help hold you and your team accountable for whatever it is you guys are trying to achieve.
Yes. That is a fantastic idea. And so much can be achieved working with others and being a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And even if you just start with one other comrade, just slowly begin your little team. Yeah.
Only twice since 2012 have I encountered 2 people, that's it, over the thousands that I've met who viewed me as competition. So it's again, if you surround yourself with like-minded people, it's very rare that you'll come across those kinds of situations. You guys are just going to want to work together, grow together, identify best practices, lessons learned, invest in coaching, invest in mentorship. I have them both personally and professionally. I've got a therapist personally and professionally. So this isn't a bad thing, you guys. Coaching and asking for help is okay.
Yes, yes. And tell everyone how they can reach out to you for coaching. Just go to your website.
Yeah, great question. You can go to my website, amymahjoory.com, or I'm all over social media, and I no longer have a social media manager, so it's me responding. You can reach out to me. I'm on, if you want to private message me, I'm on Instagram most of the time.
Okay.
I do connect on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So those are all the different ways that you can get a hold of me.
I love it. I love it. And everyone, that is AMYMAHJOORY. And you can learn about her services. You can connect and get a copy of her fantastic book. I'm just so excited. It just,
Thank you. That means so much. I appreciate it. And it's been so nice chatting with you today, and everyone else that's out there. You know, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible.
I am so grateful, Amy. And I am going to do a shout out, everyone. My first book, Why Am I So Happy, by Paula, Neva, Vail, is now available. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and my website, wellnessinspired.com. So yes, we are just connected.
I can't wait. I've ordered my copy. I'm super excited to read it. I've shared it with my entire network. So I'm super
excited. We're going to meet. I love it.
Yeah, I really look forward to it.
But a big heartfelt thank you, Amy, for this amazing book and the coaching and everything else you do for others. You're really affecting a lot of lives.
Thank you. That means so much. I appreciate it. And obviously same to you. And let's keep each other posted, and let me know how I can help.
Oh, thank you. Love, hugs, and blessings to you, Amy. To everyone out there, love, hugs, and blessings. And we will chat again soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.